Big news. Thatcher DEMKO signs for 5 years, $5 million. This is fantastic. DEMKO is young. So far, he's really proven himself. We don't expect him to do everything that he's done in Vegas, but when he was playing it against Vegas in the playoffs and he was on fire, he was unbelievable. I watched those games with my jaw dropped. It was absolutely stunning. He played out of his mind. And he was a heralded goaltender in his draft year. A lot of GMs passed on him because he had problems with his hips or his legs. He had a couple surgeries before he'd even been drafted. And Benning took a risk on him. I think he was a late first rounder. And it's really, really paid off. He's looked, after a slightly rocky start this year, he's looked unbelievable. He's looked like one of the best goalies in the league. And goaltending is very hard to find a good goalie. And it's hard to find one that is going to maintain that. Now, Canucks, please re-sign Ian Clark. I think it was Harman Dial had a great tweet where he showcased all these different goalies that when they had Ian Clark on their team, they were one of the best in the league. When they went to another team or Ian Clark left to another team, they tanked. Look how great Markstrom has been under Ian Clark. Markstrom went from heralded as the greatest goalie outside of the NHL to a struggling goalie in the NHL to finding his game and being the hottest, most sought-after goaltender in free agency, which is kind of rare because goalies are a risk. It's a mental game. It's a game that changes. It's a game about systems. And right now, DEMKO has been looking good. And for them to sign him for $5 million per, let's look at the goalies. Let's see what goalies get paid. Carey Price. They signed him at 29. DEMKO, I believe, is like 24, 25 right now. So you got DEMKO until he's 30. If he's still kicking ass, then you re-sign him again. And the Canucks could still be in their window with Pettersson and Hughes. Horvat by the time will be older. Maybe he sticks around as kind of an aging vet. Miller will be older as well. But they'll still have like DEMKO and Hughes and Pettersson can all grow together. $5 million. If that's what it took was just keeping it short around for 5 years, this is fantastic. Okay, look at this. Carey Price signed at 29, 8 years, 10.5 AV. That is ridiculous. Sergei Bobrovsky. He's had some fabulous years and some not so fabulous ones. Look at that. 10 fucking million a year for this guy. And Carey Price has got a backup goalie of Jake Allen, who's like another 2, 3, 4 million or something. I mean, you think we got problems paying our top 6 big money? Andrei Vasilevsky. A great goalie, one of the best in the league, signed when he was 25 for 8 years. But if you wanted to get that 8 years back then, look, 9.5. That's almost twice the cap hit of DEMKO. If DEMKO can be close to the value of Vasilevsky, you're getting a huge deal. Tuukka Rask signed at 26, just a year older than DEMKO was, for 8 years, $7 million. But that was, that was a longer time ago. That was back in 2013. So prices were down. And Tuukka's been solid. Never won a cup, but he's been solid. Or never won a cup as the main goalie anyway. Marc-Andre Fleury, what did he do? Oh, that's a bad one. Signed at 33 for 7. I mean, the length of the contract is a bit annoying at this time because it looks like they're trying to get rid of that. No, it's only 3 years, but Fleury's been a good goalie, and he's the same thing where, like, okay, if he's still playing as good as he is now, why did Pittsburgh move on from him? Maybe because they couldn't afford it. But goalies have up and down years, and DEMKO might have up and down years throughout this contract. John Gibson, another guy where some people think he's one of the best goalies in the league. Other people think he's hot garbage, but I think he's just been eviscerated playing on one of the worst teams in the league in Anaheim. But he's making 6.4. We're up to, how many goalies have we looked at here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so about 12 goalies have a higher average cap hit than him. Look at Jordan Binnington. Yeah, he won a cup, and you had to sign him for big money. They got him for 6 years, $6 million, 27 when he signed it. But he has played like dog shit this year. And you see him running around fake punching people. He could be a flash in the pan. Jim Carey, the goaltender, if you're not aware, I believe won a Vezina, or if not the Calder, for Washington back in the 90s and was never really heard from again. Goalies can have big years and flame out. And I think Demko's far past. We know what we got with this guy. He's 25, so he's young enough that he has a lot of his prime ahead of him, but he's old enough that we know what he can do. Jacob Markstrom, he's 30. $6 million, and you got to have him for 6 years. So how is Markstrom play going to be away from me and Clark 6 more years down the road? Connor Hellebuyck, probably one of the best goalies in the league, signed the same age as Demko. He was 25 for 6 years, $6 million. That's a nice deal. Winnipeg is set. Connor Hellebuyck is bloody amazing and elevates Winnipeg from a good team to a pretty strong team, a contender. Matthew Murray stuck in Ottawa. Ottawa stuck with him. He signed at 26 for 4 years. He's a free agent 2024, $6.25 million per year on your cap. And this guy they're down to like their 4th string goalie in Ottawa. Johnny Quick, Cup winner. Well, he signed for 10 years? Holy shit. Wow. Well, I think, when was that? 2013. That was in LA when their GM just started giving everybody who won their cups for them the money that, say, the fans would want to give them. Like just give them the money in a suitcase. You don't need to tie them to your team. Only at 5.8, though. That aged pretty well. Anyways, I mean, who would you rather have, Demko or Jimmy Howard? Or Martin Jones or Frederick Anderson? Robin Lehner? I'd take Robin Lehner. He's good, man. Especially behind defensive teams with good systems. He's been pretty elite. Just seems like I love that he got rewarded in Vegas, although Vegas now has Robin Lehner's 5 and Fleury's, what did he make, 7? You gotta have, that's $12 million you got in your contract books now. Varlamov 5. We're still in the $5 million range. Signed at 31 for 4 years. He's playing for the Islanders. Why'd they give up on Lehner? That was stupid. Should have kept Lehner. Idiots. Nashville still has old Pecorine. He's got the Edler contract. I'm old, 36. Give me 2 years at big money that I'm not worth anymore. I love Edler, though. I love Edler, just as a third pairing cheap guy. Ben Bishop, making just a little bit under what Demko's got. He signed at 30 for 6 years. $4.9 million. Anyways, and as you go along, wait a second. Why is Jordan Binnington down there and also up here? That's weird. 27, 6 years. Jordan Binnington, 26, 2 years. Oh, I see. That was his last contract. Okay, well, so we got Demko now. That is fucking fantastic. The Canucks are actually doing something on this break. Just when you think Benning and management are going to fuck everything up, they lock in Demko. This was fantastic. What do you guys think about it? I'm trying to think of like what could go wrong. Well, that's not true. Things could go wrong. He could fall off. He could just not be the goalie that he is. But, I mean, he's playing on a team that is one of the worst defensive teams in the league in terms of their systems and the quality of their defensive defensemen and structure. And he has played so well. There are some goalies who look really good because they play on bad teams that are defensive and they end up making a lot of saves or they make a lot of highlight reel saves. But Demko's playing on a team that is terrible at defense and has a ramshackle defensive core that really needs to be cleaned out, upgraded, and organized. And he's been great. I mean, the only way you could have played this any more perfect is if you would have known a little bit earlier that Demko was as good as he is, and you would have got something from Markstrom last year instead of letting him go for nothing. That's the only way you could have played it better. And maybe they could have just given Demko more starts and really found out what they have, especially considering you're going into the final year of your MVP, Markstrom. So again, there's like poor planning in that sense where they let these free agents just die on the vine and get nothing for them. But it seems like they're being a bit more proactive. This is a hell of a move. Now we'll see what they can do with Pettersson and Hughes. Pettersson's having a down year. Hughes is kind of having a down defensive year, though he's getting a lot of points. If Benning can come up with some good contracts here, totally going to save his job, save his credibility in Vancouver. I don't know. I mean, I know it's easy to hate on Benning, and there's been a lot of bad moves, and that's a general manager's job. But like I said before, I'm really starting to think when you look at the issues that Vancouver management has had it's really usually come down to, what is your plan? What are you doing? Why are you bringing on aging vets when your team is terrible? Okay, you want to preserve a winning culture, but did you have to give them that many years? For that much money? Maybe. Was it worth it? I don't know. Anyways, great news. I'm looking forward to watching the game tonight. I'll be up after the game. Let me know what you think about this contract. Am I crazy? Or am I in love? Bye.